Alright, so the Snyder Cut is finally here. I'm going to be talking about this film, spoilers and all, so there's your warning. Now, I haven't seen the 2017 Justice League film since, well, 2017. Like most people, I wasn't a fan of that project, mainly because of how mediocre and soulless it was. It's pretty well known at this point that Zack Snyder had to leave the 2017 project due to a family tragedy, and my condolences go out to him and his family. Because Zack left, Warner Brothers hired good old Joss Whedon to come in and, well, tamper with the film to make it this, mass appeal, Avengers-esque blockbuster. I actually like some of Zack Snyder's films, but his films in this DC universe are not his best. I'm not really the biggest fan of this universe and this set of DC films. So when I found out that the Snyder Cut was coming out, I was just like, alright, I didn't really like that movie, but maybe it'll be just a little bit better. And because I'm just a huge superhero nerd, I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. What really surprised me was to see where this film universe was actually going. The Nightmare Justice League storyline, where Batman is leading a ragtag group of heroes and villains across a post-apocalyptic wasteland to stop a tyrannical Superman, that's fucking intriguing. We've never gotten that on the big screen yet. It's new, it's refreshing, and it would have been exciting to watch, and we all know it. This film was not a great film by any stretch, but it is 100% different and better than the 2017 version. It's way more Zack Snyder and less Joss Whedon. In watching it, you'll be rewarded with small, subtle changes and more Paramount ones. There are a lot of shots and scenes that were in both pictures, but the filmmaking is just different, more refined, like it took time and effort. Like the first scene with Bruce recruiting Arthur Curry, for example. Instead of us seeing the waves from Aquaman swimming away, we just see a calm ripple. Or when Aquaman enters the stormy ocean after saving that fisherman. Instead of a hard rock to seem tough song playing, we get the song There Is a Kingdom. And it makes that scene 10 times better, it feels more stylish, and that's a good thing. Overall, the color in a lot of scenes is different, the humor feels more natural. Although the screenplay is cheesy and generic at times, it does flush the characters out. I'm not saying this is one of the best superhero movies I've ever seen, far from it, but at least the characters actually feel like characters this time around. The 2017 Justice League was so rushed and forced. Things that felt forced or rushed back in 2017 don't in the Snyder Cut. The story does make more sense because there was a lot we didn't see in 2017. There's basically 2 more hours of film, so it just comes together better. The film has exciting moments. The action was pretty good. Zack Snyder's films usually look really good and have exciting action scenes, like the original battle on Themyscira, Steppenwolf versus all of the warriors on Earth thousands of years ago. It was cool to see the Green Lantern during this ancient battle on Earth against Darkseid. I liked how you have all these groups of heroes coming together from all parts of the globe, Atlanteans, Amazonians, man. Essentially, that's what's happening now. Bruce is trying to bring together a new group of heroes. Although this battle was cool, it was basically every final battle in an Avengers movie, even some shots are almost verbatim. Steppenwolf looks better in this film. His armor is cool. I never really loved Steppenwolf, but he was a much better character in the Snyder Cut. He wasn't just a giant, monstrous meat sack whose whole thing was that he's evil, like he was before. Here he has complex motivations, trying to get in Darkseid's good graces by leading the assault on Earth to retrieve the Mother Boxes. I like how we get to see Diana figure out who Darkseid is, having her people lead her to discover the Earth's dark history. It's a better way of relaying information as opposed to, say, an email like they did in one of the other films. I also really loved Barry Allen and Victor Stone. In the 2017 version, they were kind of sideswiped. Here, they have actual characterization. Barry Allen, his introduction scene is in particular very good. It shows everything about his character in one scene. Funny, charming, and mind-bendingly fast. Ezra Miller plays the fast-paced, anxious Barry Allen very well. I even thought that back in 2017. Ray Fisher as Victor Stone was very good in this film too. Cyborg and Flash now have compelling backstories. You feel their power. You feel how strong Victor is with this technology that he can control, and you see how fast the Flash is, literally ripping out of his shoes when he enters the Speed Force. Giving these super powerful beings more backstory and time really humanizes them. Sure, there's a lot of characters in this movie, and an abundance of characters can make a film feel bloated and feel like it's lacking focus, but at least most of the characters have complex goals and motivations. I love the scene when Alfred manipulates Bruce's gauntlet to absorb energy from parademons so that he has a prayer in battle alongside all these super-powered individuals. And speaking of Batman, I really love him in this film. I always thought Ben Affleck's Batman was the best thing about this universe, and in this film, he's so important. One of the things that bugged me about the 2017 Justice League film was how misplaced and useless Batman seemed. I like how Steppenwolf periodically meets with Desaad to bring him up to speed on this quest to find the Mother Boxes and form the Unity. Although he kind of says the same thing each time, it breaks up the film. Eventually, Steppenwolf realizes that Earth was the key to the anti-life equation, since it's the one world world that Darkseid was unable to conquer. I like how when Steppenwolf is in the presence of Darkseid, his armor shuts down because he's vulnerable. Steppenwolf wants to prove himself to his master, Darkseid. As common as this trope is with supervillains, I'll take the characterization as opposed to a lack thereof. There was a cool Martian Manhunter cameo, emphasis on cameo. Knowing that this universe is basically dead, there won't really be a payoff to this, but it didn't exactly feel tacked on at the same time, because if this universe was still a probable thing, Martian Manhunter most likely would have become a member of the Justice League, so I can't really hate it. So as we saw back in 2017, the Justice League used the mother boxes to reincarnate Superman. Now, Henry Cavill as Superman was always just okay for me. Not the best Superman I've seen, but not terrible. When he comes back, he feels important because he's beating Steppenwolf and scaring off Darkseid, but I didn't feel anything when he came back like I felt when all the Avengers returned in Endgame. Before they bring Superman back, Victor has the premonition of the nightmare situation where Lois dies and Superman loses his will to fight, and Darkseid takes advantage of this and uses Superman to help him conquer the Earth. That nightmare vision teased in Batman v Superman was really the future of this universe. That's kind of cool. So Superman comes back, he fights the Justice League. It's a bit better this time. It is longer though, that's for sure. There was a quick what the fuck moment where Batman withstood Superman's heat vision with that vibranium gauntlet Alfred made. I mean, that's nuts, and no one is really talking about that. That's Superman's heat vision. How the fuck was Bruce's arm still intact after that? Moving on. I do like how they didn't have Superman say that "do you bleed" line to Batman. Superman just attacked him, no words necessary. Much better. The scene when Silas Stone takes his own life to heat the box was very powerful. Victor is of course heartbroken, and these emotional moments were one of the many good elements to filmmaking that the 2017 Justice League film just didn't have. I love the Batcave scene when Bruce introduces everyone to Alfred and Bruce goes, "This is Alfred, I work for him." That's what I meant about humor that feels natural and less like MCU humor. So the final battle was okay. Some are saying that this final battle was the better part of the movie or that it was the most improved part of the movie. I sort of agree and disagree. To me, there's just way too much CGI and that just takes me out of it. However, I do like when Barry has to travel at the speed of light to essentially go back in time briefly because they didn't close the portal or they weren't able to stop Steppenwolf or something like that. It's riveting and it's just like a tense final battle should be, and it's a long and drawn out scene, but that's way more creative than last time when the heroes just win as Steppenwolf leads. They almost lose this time around. I give a lot of credit for that. Then there's the final three scenes. These scenes are the most intriguing part of the film to me. It's where this was all going to lead, the nightmare situation. The first is Lex Luthor escaping from Arkham and talking to Deathstroke about killing Batman. Lex reveals Batman's true identity, and this was supposed to set up a solo Batman film with Deathstroke as the main villain. As we know, this isn't going to happen anymore, but it was still cool to see. The second is the nightmare storyline playing out, where Batman is leading the team of survivors to stop this nightmare from ever happening. Aquaman and Wonder Woman apparently were killed by Superman, and Batman leads Victor, Barry, Deathstroke, Joker, and Mira to an unknown destination through the wasteland that is Earth. The heroes teamed up with the villains in a desperate attempt to fight Darkseid, and Joker is still cracking jokes. It was just perfect. I really love that scene. And right before this, we're shown Deathstroke accepting the job to kill Batman for free because it's personal to him. Therefore, Batman and Deathstroke must have a rich history in this universe, so to see them team up is nuts. I love the dark color tone, I love the high stakes, the shaky cam, and how ominously eerie the world was. The dialogue between Joker and Batman was some of the better dialogue in the film. It carries so much weight because we all know Batman and the Joker and this dynamic. Joker taunts Batman about dying instead of Lois. He taunts him about losing his parents, losing Jason Todd. Batman taunts Joker about Harley's last words about Joker, meaning that Harley Quinn was on this team too at one point, but she died in Batman's arms. Just having Batman and the Joker in this universe finally having some face-to-face dialogue was just so awesome. Then Superman the Tyrant shows up and Bruce awakens from this dream. And this brings me to the third and final scene, where Martian Manhunter visits Bruce to praise him on a job well done and setting up the Justice League to prevent the end of civilization itself, essentially. Let's talk about what I didn't like. Lois Lane. I didn't really buy the relationship with Clark and Lois in this universe. She doesn't really have much personality. I do like Amy Adams, and it's not really her fault. It's just that the script has her essentially existing to grieve about Superman's death, and that's it. I got and respected the themes that they were going for, but the dialogue between the characters, especially with Lois and Martha, they were just so generic. The length is also super unnecessary. This film did not have to be a 4-hour film. It could have been easily a 2-hour film, just with the best scenes and none of the Joss Whedon changes. I think it would have been more impactful in that way because it would have had more replay value, I guess, people going back to it. Now I want to talk about something else that I don't think many people are talking about. A lot of people like this film. A lot of people are saying it's better, and I do agree. But here's what I want to say. The Justice League film is like Avengers Endgame. It's a film where the entire universe is at stake. It's the film that's built up to this grand epic showdown, but it wasn't built up enough. This is what I meant about not feeling anything after Superman was reincarnated. The MCU had damn near 21 films before they introduced their film with universe-ending stakes. There was only like 2 movies before this Justice League movie, so I think it could have been built up more. I haven't had enough time with these characters to make me feel something genuine when we see the shot of the hero pose or when we see these really nice sentimental moments. We need to see these characters go through more shit for this film to have meant something. And that was the problem back in 2017, and it's still the problem here. Only difference is in this film we get a longer film, so we get more time, but it's still not nearly enough. The film was cool. If you're a superhero fan, check it out. If you don't really like this movie universe, this probably won't do anything for you. You don't really need to watch it. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe to the channel. I'd be more than appreciative if you did. Have a great day, and I will see y'all next week. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.